Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again for this tuning in on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. We're glad you all could be with us today. Going to bring in our friends over on IG so they can be a part of our conversation. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon Live. Have an exclusive here on Amazon Live today with someone's making his first appearance on our broadcast. We're going to talk to him about what was a great 2025 for him, what he's doing in 2026, and how you all can be involved in it. We're now live on the Amazon Live side with Cyrus Webb Presents. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button, either here in this corner or down below. You also see in the carousel the new issue of Mississippi Success Magazine. I just so happen to have a couple of them here. And one of the articles you will find is about our next guest. We're excited to welcome Dr. Victor D. White to our broadcast today. We're going to talk to him not only about what's been like for him to show his love of education, but also in being able to help others as well. He's also the president of Aspire Forward Consulting. Going to talk to him about that and what he hopes is able to do in helping to bridge the gap, not only with the schools, but also with the community as well. Dr. White, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, glad to do it. I should also mention that I've known him for quite some time. He was a part of our big event in 2025 when we broke the Guinness World Record for most TV interviews in 12 hours. So I want to say, Victor, thank you so much for being a part of that. Let's start off with where we're kicking off 2026. As I mentioned, you are the president of Aspire Forward Consulting. We're going to get more into that. But we also were able to feature your story in the most recent issue of Mississippi Success Magazine. What has it been like for you, Victor, to have develop this passion for education and then to be able to share it with the rest of the community?
I think that the passion was developed through me by other people that I encountered. I've had so many people who poured into me along this journey, even from high school all the way up until this present time. And anytime you're giving, someone gives to you, you're required to give back, to pass it on, and try to help the next generation grow. And that's just what I'm trying to do.
Right. I appreciate that. Joining us on the West Coast, Dr. Bauman. Hello to you, Dr. Bauman. She says good afternoon to you as well. Over there on IG, hello to you, Derek Lee. Good to be able to see you over there on IG. And also Pierre Ingram. Thank you so much for joining us also. And I appreciate you guys joining us on YouTube as well. So let's go back then a little bit then, Victor. I mean, I think for a lot of people, when they're going through school, they're just trying to get out. They're not thinking about, being able to necessarily to help other people in their own journey of education and learning and empowering. When did you know that you were a person that wanted to be of service in your community? When did that start for you?
I think I've always wanted to be a person of service in the community. Maybe the opportunity only presented itself a while back. And when I got into education, I knew counseling was what I wanted to do at that time because I wanted to enlighten the students, if you will. A lot of times we have students and they've gone through so many tragedies or trauma, but at the same time, there's such a great opportunity if you use those tragedies and traumas as stepping stones instead of excuses. So I wanted to be that conduit, if you will, that allowed them to connect their past to the future, to help them see, not just because this is where you are is not where you have to stay.
Yeah. You said something in another conversation that we had, Victor, that I think is so powerful. And I think it's something we don't always think about, especially for those of us who don't have children or don't have a connection to the school system. You talk about, the challenges that can be for those who are going to school that a lot of us may not consider. Those who may be going to school without having a meal to eat, maybe seeing different situations in their home that make learning more difficult for them. They're not bad children, but the situation is not conducive for them. Where does that empathy come from to be able to help those type of individuals?
The empathy comes from being to them what I needed when I was their age. I didn't like a lot of the stuff that these children go through. I can't relate directly to it, but at the same time, I can understand the big picture of it. As you said, just think about a student coming into a classroom hungry, and you expect him to give you 100% performance on a state test or an assignment or a benchmark before you can expect them to move up on that level, you have to meet their basic need, which is let's get you something to eat.
Yeah.
Let's get you to feel safe. Let's get you comfortable. And once we get those things in place, most children are going to thrive.
Mm. Such a great point. Dr. Velma was chiming in on what you were saying, Victor. She says, so true. It's not a place where you have to stay. And I think that's it. So that leads us to possibilities. And thank you so much, Dr. Velma, for reiterating that. Have you always been a person, Victor, who saw possibilities even when there were challenges? And I guess what I mean by that is, maybe as you mentioned, as we look at different young people and what they're going through, they may not be able to see their way out. Have you always known that there were opportunities out there? It really was about you not giving up and looking for those opportunities?
I think because of the family support that I had, I've always been taught to believe
Hmm.
anything is possible.
Hmm.
Now, nobody's going to give you anything,
Yeah.
but if you're willing to work for it and you're willing to put in that time and effort, you can have whatever you want. And a lot of times, as I said, students, because of their environment, their background, we have to go a step beyond, because you can tell me all day, hey, well, I can tell you, Cyrus, you can be the president, or you can own your own company, or you can do anything that you want to do. But when you leave my presence and go back into that environment, you're going to see the same thing that you saw before you came into my presence. So what you begin to believe is,
Yeah.
hey, this is all there is, or this is what's carved out for my life. And that's why it's so important. I mean, I really don't think that counselors embrace their role, or they understand the power that they have to impact students. A lot of times teachers don't get to have that impact because they're subject specific.
Right.
They got to teach math, or they got to teach reading, they got to worry about test scores. But counselors are able to go into classrooms and create experiences for students that can take them places they never imagined.
Yeah. Victor, it's so interesting for me. I mean, I've been visiting schools for a very long time, probably at this point over 20 years.
You,
And
you know, not to
yeah,
cut you off, but
no, go ahead.
that's how we met. Um,
Right.
you came to Gentry for me.
Hmm.
You brought authors to Gentry. You brought musicians to Gentry. You started a
Yeah.
book club at Gentry.
Yeah.
And that's where we connected, and we've been, moving forward ever since. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for even believing in me. That was probably 16 years ago.
Wow.
You supported me then, and you believed in me, and I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for that. And that goes to the point I was going to make. The schools have definitely changed since I first, came in, the public scene and started visiting schools and doing what you just said, bringing in authors. What has that been like for you to see the change? Because to me, it seems to be a double-edged sword, Victor, that there's been a lot of advancements, but unfortunately, there have been a lot of setbacks as well. And especially when it comes to communication, what has that been like for you as someone who's been on the ground to be able to see that?
Um, it could be very disheartening, but I choose to take it as a opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes, we have communication problems. We have children who don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to socialize.
Hmm.
But that's a great opportunity for us to teach them. We have to realize that with COVID, students were going to school on the computer. They were
Yeah.
trapped in the house all day. They didn't have any social interaction. So a lot of that, it's not their fault. It's just circumstances. But at this time, we're able now to work with them to get those social skills up, to get them some social emotional training and discipline, so they can learn how to interact with not only their other classmates, but just with people in general in the world. A lot of times, I'm sure you see it too when we go to maybe restaurants or places and you're dealing with young people, their skills are just not what they should be.
Yeah.
Even in interacting, maybe taking your order or whatever, it's not the best customer service that it could be. But we
Right.
have to take these opportunities as educators to try to teach our children and to show them a better way.
I love that. To Kenya, Kay Johnson, hello to you. To Kenya, you met her, I think, on October 29th last year. She was one of our assistants for the Guinness event. Thank you so much for joining us over there on Facebook. Earn for Love, hello to you over there on IG as well. I want to reset real quick, Victor, and say for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You all are watching Cyrus Web Presents. We're on Amazon. Amazon customer, thank you so much for the follow over there. If you guys are joining us on the Amazon side and you're not doing so already as Amazon customer just did, make sure you guys hit that follow button either here in this corner or down below. As I mentioned, you also will see the latest issue of Mississippi Success Magazine, and on page 13, you'll see my interview with Dr. Victor D. White there. We talk about the work that he's doing, and the next thing I want to talk to you about, we talked about that as well. MB, hello to you over there on Facebook too, and that is Aspire Forward Consulting. So as I mentioned, you and I were talking about, I got to know you because of your work in the school system. I was really excited when you announced last year in 2025 about forming Aspire Forward. Victor, talk to our audience about what was the need you saw, the reason why you built it, and what exactly Aspire Forward does.
Okay, well, Aspire Forward, I mean, it was a company that my brainchild, and the name tells you what I plan to do. Aspire Forward. I want to help students move forward.
Mm-hmm.
I want to help the educators move forward. I don't know, but I found these results. So, because I identified some gaps in opportunities for students and some situations that were not allowing our students to be successful, I created this company with the hopes of being able to go into schools, community organizations, wherever I'm needed, churches, wherever I'm needed, to help create a program or to help do professional development with the adults to help the students grow, to come up with a plan, if you will, to help students move forward.
Yeah. And how does it feel to know that you've been able to create something, for one, based on what you've seen? Because again, as I mentioned, you've been on the ground, you've been in the trenches, so to speak. Victor, you've been in the classroom, you've seen the need for this. How does it feel to know that you were able to create something to help to address the problem?
It feels good because the problem is not going to get any better if we don't deal with it. It's just going to continue to get worse. And I mean, I'm so fortunate that, as you said, I've been in the trenches, and even in the trenches, working in alternative schools and juvenile detention centers, I've still been able to find students that inspire me to keep going because they show me that given the right opportunity, they can be great, even though where they are right now may not be great. They still have an opportunity to recover, to reset, and move forward.
Yeah, I love that. And that, again, that hope is so important. So, for our audience out there, Victor, who may be hearing about Aspire Forward, we're going to let them know how to find out more information. I want to talk about the connection because I think a lot of times we feel as though, okay, and I've heard this, and again, not being a parent myself, I have heard parents talk about this. Well, that's what we're sending them to school for. That's what they should be getting the learning. That's what they should be, getting X, Y, or Z. Then I've talk to educators who say, well, this continue, it's not just what we do here, it's about what happens at home. So I want to talk about, for those who are parents or guardians or work or at home with children, Victor, how do you see Aspire Forward helping them to better equip the young people that are in their homes as they're going off to school?
I think Aspire Forward can bridge the gap. If we're just being honest with ourselves, there is a disconnect between home and school. And as long as that disconnect exists, our children are going to continue to fall through the gaps.
Yeah.
A lot of our parents, they base their dealings with school on their personal experiences. A lot of parents didn't have positive experiences in school as students. A lot of times they might have been picked on, or they might have felt like they were cast aside. So then they carry those feelings and emotions with them. And when they come to the school to deal with the school about their children, those biases, they show themselves. A lot of times they're very argumentative. They're not responsive to you trying to help their students. So what I hope Aspire Forward can do is to create a plan or a pathway for parents so that we can teach the parents how to get past their trauma and to learn how to work with the school, to work within the school, And then when you get the teachers and the parents working together, the student has a higher percentage of being successful.
Right. I totally agree with that. So now that we're kicking off this brand new year, one of the things we talked about in your interview for the Guinness World Record event last year, Victor, was about Aspire Forward for 2026. What are some of the things that you hope Aspire Forward is able to do this year?
I really want Aspire Forward to expand its services, cover more schools, more youth, get into more youth organizations.
Mhm.
And then I also want to get into communities to let the communities know this is a partnership. Everybody needs to be working together for the child, for the children.
Yeah.
And once we get to that point, we can start to see our children grow and thrive and prosper and be successful in all facets of life.
Yeah. Such a great point. I want to widen out as we wrap up here, Victor. And again, I appreciate you stopping by Amazon Live. And we want everyone to get their copy of Mississippi Success Magazine. As I mentioned, you can read my interview with Dr. Victor White. Inside of it is on page 13 of the print edition, or you can be to get the Kindle edition as well. What would you say to others out there, Victor? Because just as you were able to see a need, and you, because of the passion you have for for the young people, but also for education, the year doing this with Aspire Forward, what would you say to other people about the importance of seeing how they can work with organizations like you and meeting that need and bridging that gap as well?
My simple advice would be just do it. If
Mhm.
you find that there's a need, you were called to fulfill that need.
Mm.
So don't be afraid, don't fight or don't try to rationalize well maybe somebody else will do it. If you identified the need, you were put there for a purpose.
Yeah,
So you work in your purpose and work to meet the need.
love it.
And
Such a great.
along the way, as you begin to work, you'll find inspiration in people that you meet from day to day. You'll find inspiration in other people's stories that'll help you keep going, because it's not an easy journey. I'll tell anybody, stepping away from a secure future into this is not an easy journey. But
Right.
because I believe it's what I'm supposed to be doing, it's a rewarding journey.
Yeah. Love that. Again, everyone, Dr. Victor D. White has been our guest, the president of Aspire Forward Consulting. We've been talking with him about his love of education, but also the community and what he's doing now to Aspire Forward to be able to bridge that gap and to be able to help those young people that we know are the future. Victor, really appreciate you, man. Congratulations again. So proud of you. Excited about helping you spread the word about the work you're doing. How can our audience stay connected with you?
On Facebook, I am Aspire Forward Consulting. My email address is victordwhite@yahoo.com, Aspire Forward Consulting at gmail.com. All of those are avenues that you can reach me. And once you go to the Facebook page, go ahead and like that page so we can stay connected. And as I post, you're able to see what's going on and we're able to talk back and forth.
Love it. Exactly. Well, again, excited about the great things coming up for you and looking forward to our next chat together, Victor.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.